and the carnage that had destroyed Europe and destroyed much of Asia
And really quick to preface this, just before I had started playing it the first time, now just less than a minute into this, he was basically talking about where we can all agree about, the ideals of democracy, short of, some of the issues like economically speaking or something like abortion. But then he's starting to then pivot into where we picked off, where how important it is to have this international order to kind of maintain the democracy, across the globe.
and
Can you turn it up a little bit?
it was so shocking that I think people pulled back and they said, all right, yes, the United States, we're the most powerful country at this point. A lot of our competitors are destroyed. We were relatively protected because of geography. And so we'll set up a rules-based system internationally that allows for freedom of navigation and rules governing trade. And we're going to have an alliance with Europe, including our former enemies, and in Asia, including our former enemies, because even though we are the most powerful country, we know that having seen what happened in World War II, we're better off if we can figure out how to get everybody to cooperate. And
also, too, as I said earlier to you, one of the reasons that we did what we did was because of a threat from the Iron Curtain and the Soviet Union, because after World War II, the next threat to this country, which was real apparent, was the Soviet Union and communism. And that's one of the reasons why we did what we did.
Well, but he's even more so talking about like going
NAFTA.
into World War II, though, that how important it was that we were all able to, work together to fight, this great force of evil that was, stemming from Nazi Germany.
What I'm picking up from where you started it is he's talking about post World War II and rising out of the rubble and how this international globalism began. I think he's kind of saying globalism began then, and if he is saying that, I would agree. But I'm just saying to you that one of the main reasons why, Great Britain's been a great ally, and we wanted to help them, but one of the main reasons why we wanted to help Germany after what they put the world through is because we wanted to keep communism out of Western Germany, and in France, and squash the threat of communism moving across the continent of Europe.
I think it's multifaceted. I think more so, though, it was still just this, hey, now this evil force, and especially personified in the name of Adolf Hitler, right? That, all right, evil is squandered. We all recognize, we need to go back to, non-wartime society, but there's now this question, to your point, who's in charge of course, like Germany and, what's left over of, all of what was occupied Nazi territory. But, there's now the power vacuum with, the Soviet Union and the United States. And I think it was more just a competition to, who can become the global superpower.
Arms race.
Right.
The Cold War started pretty much right after World War II ended.
Yep.
And the Berlin Wall goes up, right? And
I don't think it was like inherently just democracy versus communism. It was, hey, maybe we can wrap it up this way. Hey, we don't want communism to spread to this area. When in reality, I think more so in reality, it's whatever other form of government, even if, we were to call Russia's form of government democracy, I think we still would have found some way to propagate the Cold War without, necessarily saying, oh, we got to, abolish communism from, taking hold and growing roots, across the globe. I think that was just an easy way to kind of frame up how we can work against a new, inherently bad force. And